Let's see. Have wings. Right. No wings. Fantastic.
Now, I will share with you this. We have a.
No.
Form,
Right.
and for anything to be passed at all, it has to be unanimous because something either passes with 3 votes or it's denied.
Okay, right. Terry's here. Terry's with us. Hi, Terry.
Wait, what in her seat?
You shut the door. No, that's.
All right.
what I'm saying.
I was wondering, she's just ignoring.
We waved. We acknowledged.
Hi, I unmuted.
Can you hear us?
I can.
Ah,
Oh, okay.
Can't
Hi,
see
Terry.
you.
she can. How many times have we been heard that we shouldn't have been? That's the.
I'm taking notes. Oh. What happened?
The meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a 15-second moment of silence. So if you would, please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Susie, will you be calling the roll, please?
I sure will. Terry Reed.
Carrie, are you?
Here.
Thank you.
Bill Niemeyer,
Here.
Chad Melinder, not here. Ryan Hartley,
Here.
Ethan Maple.
Here.
Wonderful. We have a quorum. And the first item on our agenda, we open the floor to comments from the public, limited to 3 minutes. And at this portion of the agenda, that is open to the floor for any topics that are on the agenda. At the end of the agenda, we also open up the floor with no restrictions at all. And that's the time that anybody can say anything that they would like at that point. So if there's anybody in the audience that would like to comment on anything that's on our agenda, then please come to the podium and share your thoughts with us. Okay, seeing none, we'll move right along. Next item on our agenda is consideration of claims APV numbers 26217 through 26266. Do we have a motion regarding those claims?
I'll make a motion that we approve.
I'll second that.
It has been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or discussion regarding the claims as presented in our backup materials?
Nope.
Okay, all those in favor of approving the claims as presented, please indicate by saying aye.
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 The record will show that the vote is 4-0 and those claims are approved. The next item on the agenda is consideration of the minutes from our meeting of March the 6th, again, as presented in our backup materials. Is there a motion regarding the minutes?
I will make a motion that we adopt the town council minutes from March 6, 2024.
I'll second that motion. So are there any questions, comments, suggested revisions to the minutes from March 6th meeting?
Have none?
All those in favor of approving the minutes from our town council meeting of March 6th as presented in your backup materials, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Motion carries 4-0 and the minutes are approved. The next item on our agenda is consideration of an event at the Round the Corner Pub. So whoever's here to talk about that, come on up. Tell us who you are, share with us what your thoughts are, and we'll share with you our thoughts. No, right there is perfectly fine.
And Wes back there, Bill Brand. We're the new owners of the pub over here. So today we came to ask for permission to hold an event as a grand opening. Unfortunately, with everything we've been hit with, we're not going to do it. But we still wanted to come forward and at least introduce ourselves. We've been hit with a lot of expenses. And that's okay. Our doors show up and we have outpouring support from the community. They were very grateful for. But we want to focus more on other things and build rapport with our neighbors than just helping their neighbors. I think that's the better way to go, the smarter way to go than coming in here and asking to put a tent up and to have alcohol inside where we don't have a rapport. We have a bad rapport with our neighbors at this point. So we want to build that rapport, and I can tell them all day long, we're not the old owners. We don't want, we're not going to do those things, but until we prove ourselves, we tell you something all day long. So we're more focused on, again, building that rapport and showing them instead of just telling them. And so we kind of wanted to just take the time to say thank you for at least putting us on the agenda, and we just didn't show up. Not show up, and then makes us look even worse, of course, but we just want to focus on those things and then getting the restaurant where it needs to be, where it should have been for a long time. And then we'll work on our events later. So, you know, we appreciate it.
Well, thank you for coming in and sharing that with us. And also, I would like to state that over the years, there have been many occasions where the previous owners of the pub have come in and asked for permission, whether it was for an outdoor band or for a function that was going to go later in the evening. And I think, Bob, you can probably say better than anybody in the room that when the council's considered those things and we've approved those special events, I think they've gone off relatively well and without incident. So I mention that so that, in the future, if there are any occasions that you need to come before the council to get, a special permit or approval of something, we're here for you.
That we haven't had time to prepare even for this. We've just been hit one thing after the next. But again, our doors are still open and we've had such an outpouring support from the community. We're not complaining at all. We'll just keep moving forward. But and I do even appreciate you guys saying that, so we know we can come in and be more prepared next time because we're just not prepared this time.
Well,
Are you?
the
would you-
door is open.
The door's always open. Would you be comfortable taking advantage of opportunity just to share, hey, here's some of the challenges that we're facing? Just so the community knows, so that we know, so that I'm a big fan of supporting our local businesses and finding ways to do so. So I think the fact that you guys are being intentional about building relationships and building bridges to your neighbors and even beyond is an incredible thing. And it speaks a lot about you and what it means to have a business in New Pal. And that's one of my favorite things in New Pal. So I just wanted to give you the opportunity, recognizing that your plans have changed. If you feel comfortable sharing some of the challenges that we can hear, receive, and then be able to know that these are the things that you guys are dealing with. And you never know what could happen in the midst of that. But that's your call. I don't want to put you on the spot.
No, it's okay. We're in a good, so, and we've been very open about it this whole time. So, the first day that we, took over as like a managerial contract, the first day we took over, the health department with us. And so that was, and Ryan, I believe that you've heard this story too, but they hit us the first day and she came in with her book to shut us down where I guess the year prior had not been paid. And so, we ended up paying that. And then of course the fine was double because of the fine. And so she was wonderful to us. She actually went to the back and said, this has to be done. This has to be done. So all of our kitchen floors had to be done. We knew that we were going to shut down for 3 or 4 days because the previous summer, and again, I don't want to badmouth any of that. This is just stuff that just hadn't been done. It was Band-Aid after Band-Aid. So we shut down for 4 days because we had to redo the whole kitchen floor. We decided because half of the equipment was working. And when I say half, we have a grill that only half of it was working. We have a flat top, and half of it was working. The oven, only half of it was working. And so, and we have such a wonderful staff. They just really stayed in there with us, even though half of everything was working. So we pulled everything out to redo all the kitchen floors. We decided to go ahead and put the equipment that actually worked. And so people came in and like, what did you change about the food? And we just actually have the equipment that's working properly. So that hit us. And then our furnaces, we found out they were 21 years old. Even though we were told they had been replaced, they were not replaced. And so we've had to replace 2 furnaces out front. The ductwork is not big enough to hold a bigger HVAC system. And so now we've had to replace, we have 3 more that have to replace in the kitchen just to keep our kitchen staff cooled down because the 2 that we already did is not keeping it cool. So that's a total of 5 that we have to replace. Again, it's okay. We're still opening. And then this week we've had some plumbing problems from things not flushing and things not going out. And so we had some people come out, and our grease trap is supposed to be, if anybody knows anything about restaurants, it's supposed to be pumped every 3 to 4 months. It has not been pumped since 2017. With that said, when it happens, the grease trap in the bottom is completely gone, which can cause foundation problems. We're talking, it could be up to $30,000 to replace the whole grease trap that has to be replaced. And again, we're just been hit every time we turn around but we can't complain because we've been so busy over there. People are standing there for 20 to 30 minutes waiting to get in, and we haven't had that in years. I've been at PUB since 2006. I took a 4-year break and moved back home for a little while. So to see them standing there and waiting, we know eventually we're gonna be okay. And these are things that we have to get done. And so once we cross and we have all those things done, it's gonna be smooth sailing and we can focus on all the other things. So that's just a small, that's
Right.
minimal. I mean, we've had to get new systems in place. We are in the process of getting our liquor license switched over. So we have to put the sign on the door. Our attorney actually bought the signs for the door. And so we're still in the process of getting all that switched over. And so we have a lot on our plate right now. And even though we want to do our grand opening with Chamber of Commerce, it's just, we have a lot.
Yeah.
But we have a wonderful staff. All of our staff stayed with us. And so it's huge. It's huge. Yeah.
Well, I know you guys have faced a lot of challenges. I know you guys are all in on this and you're dedicated. I've talked to both of you. I appreciate your dedication to the town and to the business, and I wish you the best of luck. You do have a lot of support, and I think that means a lot. So that ought to tell you what kind of people you are and what kind of business you're trying to run. So I appreciate it, and I know the town appreciates it.
We're tired. We're tired. We're overworked, but you guys you'll always see one of us at the pub. We're always there, open, well, a lot of times 5 o'clock in the morning because of trucks, but we're there till close every day. And so if anybody has any questions or anything for us, one of us is always there. So
Yeah.
we want the community to tell us the good and the bad, because it's a learning curve for us. And what I thought I knew about that place and what Mark thought we knew about that place, we know that, but we're learning. And so we want the good and the bad. And our whole staff is very open to constructive criticism and just learning. So we do appreciate you guys taking the time in place.
And the sign, it's kind of just a folklore when you see a sign that says under new management. But for you, it's such a positive step and it's going to be so meaningful. So hang in there, get through the rough times, and know that you're members of a community that not only have they supported you, but they'll rally around you and continue to support you, because things will just be positive from this point going forward. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for pouring into our community.
Yeah.
And all that you do. So we appreciate you sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Next item on our agenda are legal updates. So Ted, has anything happened with the law since our last meeting that we should be aware of?
I have no legal updates.
Okay, then we'll move right into department reports. Jim, what would you like to share with us this evening?
Yeah, a couple of things. March 26th, some of you guys are going to meet me there at Commonwealth for the review of the wastewater plant, the final plans there. And on March 26th, I'm going to meet with S&B and USI Consultants. That parcel is under contract for the next 8 months for the town center. So I'm going to be introduced to the civil engineers that day. So just to hear them out. And so we'll start that conversation. And then the goal is after the 8 months is come back to sometime in between the 8 months, come back to the council and kind of show our progress and, what their intentions are. So that's good.
What do you mean? Can I ask what does being under contract for 8 months mean?
They're going to do some due diligence. They're going to, there's a floodway, there's cemetery, there's some right of ways, so they're going to take all that into, they're going to use the consultants and find out exactly what they can do with this property, how much they can get developed out of it. There's a lot of tricks on this piece of parcel.
Right.
Entrance, especially off of
Yeah.
52, so I
Yeah.
have to coordinate with NDOT.
Yeah.
So yeah, there'll be a lot of work.
The,
I'm sure they're
the
gonna wanna
telephone
do
poles along
soil
52 or
samples, environmental testing there.
Yeah.
A lot of.
But so does that 8 months mean that they can back out of that contract within
Yeah.
that time period? Is that what
yeah.
that means?
But I think they're very fully engaged. to this point. They're really excited about the, process of this whole town center. So I think we've landed a couple of good partners. So
When you're meeting with them, are there points along the way, that is helpful if we sit down with them too? At different meetings?
there will be. Yeah.
Okay.
This is their first introduction with USI. They're just going to hear their consultant look at the property. I'm sure that they already have, but they weren't ready to pull the trigger until they got it under contract. So
Right. Okay.
they didn't want to spend any money.
Just a side note on that, Jim, I'm off that day.
Yeah.
It's the only day I'll be in town. I'll be out of town the rest of that week. But I'm off Tuesday. So if you want me to tag along with that, I'd be willing to go.
I'll see. And then on the 30th, we have our Easter egg hunt. And the Boy Scouts did call today. I called, our phones were down this afternoon. So apparently they didn't get a hold of me, but I did email them back. So we're hoping to get some help from the Boy Scouts to stuff the Easter eggs for the 30th. And then if you notice, the wall has been cut out over here. Jeff Fry, he finished that little project. So now we can kind of utilize that little back room for Bob or Jenny or whoever needs it. So versus walking all the way around.
I mean, there's access.
Oh, I see.
Used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walk all the way around.
Okay.
We have a lot of times where somebody might come in here and they might need that room versus conversations out here that we don't need to hear. So that way they can just go back there.
Well, and seeing that the teller cages are closed, there might be a day that we'll have a town hall that wasn't a bank.
Yeah.
It could happen.
And before I finish, I was the solar eclipse, the school's going to be closed. The county's actually closing down at noon. Do we keep town hall open all that day? I know the police officers, they'll be required to work that day. But I think the census is, if we work up until noon, can we make that up, whether it be hours in the evenings, like at a council meeting, just so we can get away? Because at 4:00, when we leave here, we don't know what the situation's going to be.
I'd say we close it at noon.
Well, and I would go one step further and not require employees to try to make up the afternoon hours. I mean, I don't know that holiday is the right word, but it's such a big special event that there, are going to be thousands of people in town that, me personally, I know I plan on being in my backyard, and I would hope that everybody, our town employees included, would already be home because, I have heard stories and recounts of other locations where they've had a 7 or 8 hour gridlock of traffic. And we don't want our employees stuck in that. So I think we should close the town hall at noon that day and just help everybody be safe.
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Do we have to make a motion to do it?
Yeah.
I'll make.
Terry, do you have any thoughts on that?
I totally agree.
Yeah, I mean, so Jim, I think we go one step further. We just close town hall that day and give everybody the afternoon off and just tell everybody to enjoy it and be safe.
Yeah.
But we do need a motion to that effect.
I'll make a motion that we close town hall on April 8th
Till
at
noon.
12:00.
Yeah.
Close it at 12:00.
I'll
And
second
Terry,
the,
any discussion on that motion?
Nope.
All those in favor of closing town hall on April the 8th at noon, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries 4-0. Anything else, Jim?
Oh, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Steve?
The other thing I have is, I guess, follow up a little bit on I brought up a ordinance about, sidewalks last council meeting and who would be, responsible for them, whether it be municipality or the abutting property owner. Since then, I've done quite a little bit of research. I probably have 20-25 different towns in my notebook that I've looked up in Indiana, and I've looked at their ordinances, and there's probably 25 different ordinances. Some towns leave it up to the abutting, it's up to the abutting property owner completely. Some towns do a partial sharing, some towns do a 50-50 split. Some towns have the abutting property owner pay for concrete while their street department goes in and does the work. I don't know if we have the manpower for that. We would probably have to sub it out to a contractor. But right now, I've just been going around different subdivisions, taking pictures, kind of rating the sidewalks, and getting an idea of the volume of work and the potential cost to the town, whichever way we want to go. Like if we want to do a 50-50, hey, here's what we're gonna have to shell out. If we want to, leave it to the abutting property owner, it's
And Steve, generally speaking, what are you finding as far as the condition of sidewalks? Are they in relatively good shape, or are there a lot of them that are really bad?
it just depends on the how old the subdivision is. A lot of them have Cypress Creek, for example, was one of them that I was kind of surprised as some really bad sections of sidewalk in there. There's a section in front of our treasurer's house that probably has a 2.5 inch, gap. And I kind of rated them on a scale of 1 to 3, 1 being a priority that needs fixed sooner than later. 3 being something like a crack in it, that can go. So it varies depending on the subdivision. And again, every year, one of the biggest expenses for sidewalk repairs is ADA curb ramp updates. So I try to at least go into a subdivision and update the curb ramps to get those done. But with some of the subdivisions, you can get into tens of thousands of dollars having an outside contractor come in and repair.
Okay.
Back when we used to do, I know we used to do a 50-50 split that the town did, but then town marshal Ron Gray probably did the work himself, I would imagine. And concrete back then was maybe $50 a yard, if that. Now you're gonna pay, you pay upwards of $400 or $500 for a single yard of concrete. So
I can testify as to Ron Gray's sidewalks, because 34 years ago, he put the ones in my yard and they're still in fantastic shape.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
he did phenomenal work.
yeah, and that's great. But I will have some numbers for council so you can,
I think,
have something to at least base a decision on how you want to go with an ordinance.
okay, well, thank you for your work on that. And I think that information would be very helpful in us crafting what direction we go. So
Can you send us, I don't need 25, but can you send us links to some of the ordinances that you have found and the ones that kind of rise to the level or the top of the stack in an email? Can you just email them to us?
I can. All I did was type in who pays for I'll go who pays for sidewalks in municipalities in Indiana, and then all these towns came up, all their ordinance came up, and I just clicked on them, and
Okay.
each town has their own.
Okay.
So Barrett law or Indiana code must be fairly broad,
Right.
and leaving it up to the town to decide.
okay,
So I've got.
thank you. Bob?
I got an email from Kelly Chevrolet, the one who we order our spot card from. We actually got a build date finally of early August for the cars to actually start getting built, possibly taking the vehicles in late September then when they'll come in. Also got quotes coming in for the emergency equipment, the lights, the sirens, the radars, everything. We're well within budget of the light packages and the sirens, but we will be replacing one car that will be the K9 squad car. So we're going to take some money that we have from some of our seizure funds to take care of that portion of it. I will get that to you when I have a full council, so y'all can look at it and have it available to you. I do have them in, but I will make sure everybody's here to look at them. And we got plenty of time to act on that because they're not ready yet. So, the other thing, I think everybody got an email from me about the rate panic alert. I think everybody's on board with that. As far as council goes, I've got all the information from the gals who work here in the office, anybody that's going to be here, to get this on board. My question is, does council members, would they be interested in having this as well? It's an app, it's a free app. It goes on your phone. It's being paid or being taken care of by the Hancock County EOC. And they will just basically have, so this property is geo-fenced. So if something was to pop off here, somebody scrum comes in and the ladies need somebody now, it gives them that opportunity where they can push that, I guess you almost call it a panic button. Same thing could happen here at a council meeting. So if you guys are interested in, I'm not asking for your cell phone numbers now, but if you could email me, what phone numbers to use. And you don't have to if you don't want it. That way I can get with John Jocantis, and we're working on now. He's on vacation this week. So when he gets back, we're gonna try to get it up and running, but it's a free process for the town. And it gives the ladies a little more security. I think makes it.
I think it's great.
A little better.
Thank you.
And it's free.
I love it.
Free is a
Yeah.
big word, right?
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, and it's just another layer of protection.
Yeah, and this is the exact same thing, the high school and the elementary, all them use. So it's, and EOC already set them up as well. So, and it's one of them things where if you were actually out to eat with your family and you push that button, you're gonna call 911, but you're not gonna get an alert that's gonna come right here to the town hall. They're gonna say, you're outside the geo fence, is everything okay? You're here, we're coming.
Right.
So,
Thank you.
thank y'all. That's
Thank
all.
you,
I have.
Bob.
Okay. Well, I know Yvonne's not here. So Susie, do you have anything you'd like to share?
No, they're just going to training, so
Okay.
she didn't give me anything, so
Okay,
I think we're good.
thank you. So at this time, we will open the floor for public comments on any topics. So if there's anybody here this evening that would like to share anything, now's the time to do so. Please just come on up to the podium and let us know what your thoughts are. And please start with name and address.
Or the Moger, 4348 West 100 South. When you build a new town hall, what's the town's plans for this building?
Would imagine it would be sold. I don't see any reason to keep it if we move to a different facility. I mean, that's just thinking out loud.
Curious,
Certainly not something that we have discussed at this point.
I understand, but I
Yeah.
just wanted to.
Yeah, no. that's
Yeah.
Something we're gonna have to think about. Absolutely.
Do you have any suggestions?
No.
You want to buy it? More importantly, Orland, do you want to buy it?
Yeah.
You need an old day.
That's all I.
It comes with a safe.
I hear the roof is in good shape now, right?
Yeah, the roof's in
We
good
have a
shape.
great roof.
That's all I was
Yeah.
just.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? And we'll move into council comments. Ryan, you have anything that you'd like to share this evening?
I do. Penny and Mark, thank you guys for coming in. It was a pleasure to hear from you. Also want to send prayers and sympathy out to town of Shirley and Eastern Hancock. I know they've had a tough week. I feel so bad for them. So I just send prayers and hopefully they can get through this and get past this. But I know it's been tough for them. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Ethan?
I'll just continue to remind that first Friday in April, Bill and I will be at the Dry Bones for kind of a chat with the council. And so we'll have that available for anybody in the town who wants to take a few minutes, have a cup of coffee and just have conversation. So we'll be there and would welcome any conversation from the town. Also want to just recognize that I was thinking today that I think within town limits, since that's what we deal with, there is a neighborhood that attends every one of our schools in New Pal school districts. I mean, we have some neighborhoods that bus out to Brandywine and certainly Sugar Creek. And so I'm recognizing the impact that the schools have on who we are and what we do as a town, and the leaders of those schools, the impact it has on the town. We're up to 3 administrators, not counting teachers who are retiring and have announced retirement. And so there's going to be significant turnover and change. I think it would be appropriate. Some of those administrators who are retiring have served this community for decades. So I think it would be appropriate for us to find some way, whether it be through proclamation or some other way, to recognize some of those retirees and just thank them for helping our town become what it is, because many of them had their voice and their hand in helping us continue to grow and improve as a town. So that we can talk to how that may happen, but I just wanted to put that out there. I feel like we'll have more turnover. I think it's important to note that our schools have aligned with our town in ways that they never have before, with the changing of their name from Southern Hancock to New Powell Community Schools. In doing so, they are linking themselves to this community and this town, and the partnership that will only continue to grow in my mind of how we help our community become better. And so we're looking forward to the ways that will take place. But with such a significant transition, a new superintendent coming in, I think there are opportunities for us to celebrate some of those administrators who have been serving well. That's all I have.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. One thing that I would like to add is that's 8:00 is the starting time for the coffee with the council. And then I also want to just encourage everybody to be extremely careful. Be safe on April the 8th, because again, the amount of traffic and the number of people that are going to be here who aren't normally here at any time during the busiest occasion, April the 8th is going to be something that we're going to experience, that it'll be like something we haven't seen before. So be thoughtful, be safe. Terry, what would you like to add this evening?
I really don't have anything to add. I've been changing diapers and just living the life. Thank you all for holding the fort down.
Well, thank you for taking the time out and joining us this evening. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
With that,
I'll take a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that.
is there any discussion on the motion? All those in favor of adjourning, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.